Hello and welcome to our first maths lesson for Key Stage 2. Now, hope you're okay. I hope you're looking forward to this lesson. Please make sure you've got a piece of paper and a pencil with you, or even a whiteboard pen. And over the next few days, we're going to be looking at arithmetic, where we're going to be going through the basics of arithmetic and going through each different concept. After each lesson as well, there will be a number of questions for you to have a go at home. Now, before we start, we are going to get our brains up and active, and we're going to have a go at doing this by doing some times tables. Now, are you ready? We're going to have a go at starting off nice and easy. We're going to have a go at our 5 times tables. So I'm going to call out the 5 times tables and you are going to come up with the answers. Are you ready? Shout them out as loud as you can. 1 times 5 is? 2 times 5 is? 3 times 5 is? 4 times 5 is? 5 times 5 is? Oh, 5 times 5 is 25. Can you tell me why 25 is an important number? What is it? Have a think. It's a square number. Remember, a square number is a number multiplied by itself, like 5 times 5. We're going to look at those in the next few lessons. So, where were we? 6 times 5 is? 7 times 5 is? 8 times 5 is? 9 times 5 is? 10 times 5 is? 11 times 5 is? 12 times 5. Pretty good, hey? All right. Let's see if we can vary it up a little bit. What is 5 squared? 25. Remember, square number. What is 2 times 5? 10. What is 5 times 2? 10. That's right, you can have it either way, can't you? What is 11 times 5? 55. Excellent. What is 6 times 5? 30. Okay. What is 60 times 5. 60 times 5. But what? I don't know my 60 times tables. No, you don't. But you do know your 5 times tables. So we said 6 times 5 is 30. But then I said, well, what is 60 times 5? So we've put another 0 there. Can you see? So 60 times 5, all you have to do is you put another 0. So 60 times 5, 6 times 5 is 30, add the zeros is 300. Do you get it? Okay, tomorrow we're going to be having a go at our 6 times tables. But before we move on to the lesson, we're going to have a go at doing our square numbers. Remember, a square number is a number multiplied by itself. Are you ready? 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 5 is 25. 6 times 6 is 36. 7 times 7 is 49. 8 times 8 is 88. 9 times 9 is 81. 10 times 10 is 100. Okay, they are all square numbers. We may even go on further later on. Let's see if you can remember them. What's 5 squared? 25, well done. What's 6 squared? 36. Oh. What's 9 squared? 81. Excellent. Are you all buzzy now? Is your brain awake? Are you wide awake? Right, now we're going to start off with our lesson. Okay, today we are going to be looking at addition. But because you're in Key Stage 2, we're not going to do simple addition. We're going to extend it. We're going to have a look at decimal addition. So adding numbers which have decimal numbers. If you are successful in this lesson, you will be able to add any decimal numbers using the column addition method. You've probably used it before at school, I hope you have. we're going to just go through this, and then tomorrow we're going to have a look at how you add using pictures, the bar model in particular, and we'll be looking at subtraction as well. First thing we've got is we have a word problem. If I can show you a bit clearer, I've got a word problem which we're going to have a go at answering. My mate Bob buys a CD for £12.50 and a t-shirt for £6.25. How much did he spend in total? Well, this is quite a straightforward addition sum. We know it's an addition sum because it's how much did he spend in total. And we've got two separate numbers here. But can you see? They are decimal numbers. I have a decimal point here and a decimal point here. I'm going to have a go at using the column method to add. So I'm going to split this up into columns. So I've got my ones column there, my tens column there, and do I need to go into hundreds column? No, not yet. I'm going to put my decimal point here. And I'm going to do these columns here. Now, I wonder if you can remember what is in this column here. It's actually my tenths column. My tenths column. Not tens, my tenths. Basically, that means it is the ones column divided by 10. Okay? So each one is 1/10 of a whole one. Okay? So I've got my tenths column there. I'm going to do that by doing 1 over 10. That's my fraction. So it's there. And I'm then going over to the next column, which is my hundredths column. Can you see this here? Hang on, one moment, please. Okay, so I've got my different columns here, and I'm going to put these numbers in my columns. Okay, so I've got £12.50. So, how many tens are in £12.50? Are there any tens? Yes, there are. So I put 1 there for my 12. Then I put 2 there for my 12. Can you see? I've got my decimal point, which I put down. And then I've got 5 and 0. So I've got 5 tenths and 0 hundredths. Now I'm going to add £6.25. So, does it have any tens? No, it doesn't have any tens, so I can leave that. Does it have any ones? Yes, I've got 6 there. Put my decimal point down. How many tenths? 2. How many hundredths? 5. So I've done my column addition and I've laid it out into hundredths, tenths, decimal points, ones and tens. Okay, now I need to add them together. Now some of you find this a bit tricky because you fall into one trap. You start adding the columns from the left hand side. Always, always, always add from the right hand side. So we're going to start to add the hundredths column first of all. But before we do that, I'm going to just drop the decimal point down here so I don't forget about it. So I've got 0 add 5. 0 hundredths add 5 hundredths, okay, is 5. Next column, 5 tenths add 2 tenths is 7. Decimal point, now let's go on to this next one. 2 ones add 6 ones is 8. And finally, 1/10 add nothing is 1. So, my answer is, how much did he spend? Well, I need to put my pound sign here. He spent £18.75, or £18.75, or £18.75. That's not too difficult, is it? I wonder if you could answer that question. Next one. This is a little bit more challenging. I go to a Chinese takeaway and order rice that costs £3.65. Right, so I need to split these up into my hundredths, do you remember? Into my tenths column, into my decimal points, into my ones column, and into my tens column. Right, here we go. So £3.65. So 3.65. Right, I've done that bit. And I also buy spring rolls that cost £2.90. So £2.90. Now there's nothing there, so I can leave that. Or to help me, I'm just going to put a 0 there for a placeholder. Okay, now I need to add these together. Remember, starts on the right hand side. So start off with my hundredths. 5 add 0, or 5 hundredths add 0 is 5. Let's go on to the next one. Now, I've got 6 add 9. Now, if you find these ones a bit tricky, put the biggest number in your head and then count on the next number, okay? You can use fingers if you want to, but being Key Stage 2, especially if you are in upper Key Stage 2, you need to practice this sort of addition in your head so that you become a bit quicker at it, okay? And I'm going to talk to you about this thing called minute maths in the next lesson to help you with that. So I'm going to, it doesn't matter which order you add them, I'm going to start off with the biggest number, which is 9. So 9 in my head, add on 6. 9, add on 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, it comes to 15. Now this is the tricky bit. Remember, you have to carry the number. So I'm going to put the 5 there. Okay. Now I need to put the 10 from the 15. And I'm going to put it in the next column. Now I could put it down here, or I could put it up here. It doesn't really matter as long as it is in the next column. One thing I did forget to do was to drop the decimal point. Whoops. Never mind, I've done it now. Remember, the decimal point always must be in the right column and in the right row. Okay? Now we've got the ones. 3 and 2, add the 1 that you've just carried is 6. So the answer is, what is the total? The total is, put my pound sign because we are buying in pounds, £6.55 or 6.55 or £6.55. That's okay, wasn't it? Now, I want you to have a go after this lesson at these questions here. Some are easy, some are a little bit more tricky. Number 1, £12.40 or 12.40 add £5.20. You may think to yourself, well, why have you got a 0 there? Why can't you just have 12.4? The reason being, when you're dealing with money, you must always have a place value 0 if it is in pounds and pence. Okay? So, think about it. If you go to the shops and something costs £12.40, very, very, very rarely would you see in a shop the price at 12.4. So remember your placeholder 0. So £12.40, add £5.20. Not too bad. Use your column addition. Remember to lay it out logically and carefully. Start on the right hand side. Next one, £6.99, add £2.90. That's tricky, be careful. This one's a good one. I would like you to find the perimeter of this rectangle. So remember what perimeter is? It is the outside length. So I've got 3.65 centimetres, 2 centimetres, 3.65 centimetres and 2 centimetres. And finally, I have 406.2 centimetres, add 12.18 centimetres. Have a go at using the column addition method to work out those answers. If you want to extend yourself, why not dive deeper? Pick one of these and see if you can come up with a word problem to link to each sum. Perhaps you can draw it out pictorially using a bar model or a part whole model. Maybe you can use manipulatives around your house to show how you work out the problem. It's up to you. Give it a go. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. For some of you, this may have been quite a straightforward lesson. But remember, we are going through each part of arithmetic this week So today we're going to be looking at addition. Tomorrow will be sum, addition and subtraction. Next lesson will be multiplication. And the final lesson will be division, which I know some of you find tricky. We're also going to be having a look at fractions, you lucky people. Okay, goodbye for now. Have a go at doing those questions, and please leave a comment below if you want to get in touch. Bye-bye.